try meth, and kind of talk about that experience when you first tried it.
Basically, I first started with using marijuana, which was the gateway, and then just someone um, offered me the opportunity to use the meth through smoking. I was very depressed, which is what led me down that path of using drugs. I was very depressed and isolated myself, so I had a lot of emotional pain, and which led to me using. I used initially the marijuana, crack, cocaine, ecstasy, but meth was my drug of choice.
And what was the experience? I mean, how hard? I mean, hard was it? I mean, how long did you do it for?
Well, I've done it quite a while. What drew me to the meth is the fact that it gives you such energy and a strong euphoria that you just feel like you can stay up for 72 hours, sometimes an entire week, without sleep. You have no desire to eat, so then you fall into this, wow, I'm looking great kind of a deal. You know, I weighed 135 pounds. I was wearing very small clothes, like size 46 waist, and but on the outside, I looked very frail and very sick. But the thing that drew me to the meth was the numbing effect. I didn't have a come down, like, coming off of it. I didn't feel depressed or anything like that, which made it a lot more enjoyable to use, because it just numbed me. It numbed my feelings. I mean, someone could punch me, rip my hair out, kick me, abuse me in any way, and it would not affect me. So it also increases your pain tolerance.
And looking back, so roughly how long were you using meth?
I'm difficult with dates,
That's fine.
but I can't remember exactly the initial year I started, but I would say it was possibly about 5 or 6 years. But then I started injecting, probably the last year or so before I started getting help. And the difference between injecting and smoking, the high is quicker and more intense.
Now, you mentioned how the great feeling it gave you, but I mean, there obviously has to come to a point where you wanted to change. What was maybe that low point where you realized, hey, I want to get off this. I want to
Yeah.
change my life. Talk about that experience.
Well, that was the scariest point was I think someone shot me up with heroin as opposed to meth. Um, because meth affects your heart rate, and it's kind of like a speed. It gives you an increased energy. Heroin attacks the mind and the brain, and you can feel that. And that night, I almost died. That's what when someone shot me up, it was almost this automatic sense of like my head was going to pop off. And it was about 3:30 in the morning. I'm calling my wife at home, feeling very very sick. I told her I wasn't going to make it. I didn't think I was going to make it. I was on the interstate losing my vision, dropped my phone, pulled off at State Route 673, pulled up the Wilmington exit, gas station, went in, thought if I get a bite to eat or candy bar or something, something to drink, I'll be fine. Got to the register, and the lady's like, wow, you look awful. You look very, very sick. Do you need me to call squad? And I said yes. And as soon as I said that, this is 3:30 in the morning, there was a young African American guy and the cashier. Those were the only two in the gas station. And I passed out. He caught me. I woke up to the squad coming, and I thought they were like begging me to go to the hospital, and I said no. I thought I cannot go to the hospital because everybody's going to find out that I'm an addict. So that near-death experience really ignited a fire in me to say I really don't want to die. And that's what initiated me to get the help that I needed.
So how long you've been clean for about a year?
I've been clean just a little over a year. Since then, I have obtained full-blown AIDS and Hep C. So I've had some bad news back in the end of May of this year. So I attempted suicide in April. I was in a coma for almost 13 days, and I came out doing just fine. And it's kind of ignited me in a different type of a journey, a journey of recovery and a journey of my emotional challenges that I have with my illness. Um, but people that shoot you up, they don't care. They don't. I had no idea whether they were giving me a clean needle, dirty needle. I had no idea what the needle was like. So it's not just the addiction that's dangerous. We can also get multiple kinds of diseases from people shooting us up, or so there's two type of casualties that can occur. One obviously is the death from using, and the other is living with a lifelong chronic illness.
Exactly. Just a couple more points, and then I'll let you finish up here. How strong of a drug? I mean, you talk about different drugs out there, but where does this stand in compared to others? How strong is meth?
It's very strong, in the sense that I think people find refuge in it, but it's very strong. Like, I could be sitting here talking to you normal right now, and then you would not even notice it, but my mind would shut off, and I could still be talking to you, but that craving would hit, and I'd be thinking a million and one things, a million and one lies to tell you to get away from you. And that's how powerful the drug is. I had my pastor from my church tell me, post your kids and your family pictures in your car to stop you. And I tried to explain to him, I said, you don't understand. I can't see them. I can't see my family. I mean, we as addicts love our families. It's not that, there's nothing that our families can do to save us. It's got to be up to us. We have to do it for ourselves to get that recovery. But I had people tell me, Ron, you're not going to recover. And I do say that we as addicts do recover. We can. And a lot of people give up hope on us. And I would just encourage family members not to give up hope on their addicts, the loved ones that are using, because there is hope.
Very good point. And one final question. You hear about the drug bust that I just told you about, $200,000 worth of meth that's not going to be in the communities here in Southwest Ohio. First of all, how great of a feeling knowing that that's not going to affect young people and other people throughout the tri-state. And I mean, what does that do? I mean, kind of eliminating that for the area.
Yes, it makes me feel excited, because I would never want someone to go down the path that I went down as far as using drugs. It's just so challenging, and it makes me relieved, because more and more younger people are getting involved in drugs, the drug Molly and coke, cocaine, and they're getting involved at an earlier age. And now it's just, I pray that this goes away, because we don't realize the difficulties that kids are going through in their homes, the abuse, verbal, sexual, or whatever it may be.